Loss is inevitable. A loved one, a dream, a phase of life. And when it comes, it doesn't knock. It tears through your world, leaving silence, confusion, and pain. Most people try to escape grief. They run, distract, numb, or pretend to move on. But the Stoics didn't avoid loss. They studied it, sat with it, and learned to carry it with strength, not despair. Marcus Aurelius lost children. Seneca lost friends. Epictetus lost freedom. But none of them lost themselves. They knew that grief, when faced with wisdom, could refine the soul. This episode isn't about getting over pain. It's about meeting it fully and choosing who you become through it. Here are 5 Stoic lessons that don't promise to erase your grief, but will give you a compass to walk through it with honor, clarity, and quiet strength. Part 1. Pain is a forge, not a sentence. Pain can break you, or it can shape you. The Stoics never denied suffering, but they refused to waste it. Marcus Aurelius faced plague and betrayal. Epictetus lost his freedom as a slave, and yet both became stronger. Not because they avoided pain, but because they used it. Think of every loss as a forge. When a blacksmith shapes steel, it must first face fire, and so must we. You can become bitter, resenting the unfairness, the loneliness, the silence after something ends. Or you can become better, more grounded, more present, more real. That choice doesn't happen once. It happens every day. Ask yourself, what is this pain trying to teach me? What truth does this grief refuse to let me ignore? Who can I help? Because I've been through this. Because pain is never meaningless, unless you run from it. But when you face it, when you carry it with intention, something shifts. Your silence becomes someone else's permission to speak. Your scars become someone else's map. That's the alchemy of Stoicism. Turning suffering into service, wounds into wisdom, grief into growth, not overnight, but through daily courage. Yes, pain leaves a scar, but scars can be sacred if they're carried with grace. Part 2. Let go of control. Hold on to meaning. When loss strikes, the first instinct is to ask, why me? Why now? But Stoicism reminds us, we never truly controlled the outcome. What we control is how we respond. You couldn't stop the illness. You couldn't prevent the goodbye. You couldn't hold on forever, but you can choose what this moment means. Seneca wrote, "You may leave this life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." It's a brutal truth, but also a clarifying one. When you accept that nothing is promised, you stop clinging. You start living deliberately. You cherish people, not because you expect them to stay, but because you know they won't. You show up with full presence, not because it guarantees anything, but because it's right. Letting go of control is not giving up. It's growing up. It's realizing that your power doesn't lie in the past or the future. It lies in this breath, this choice. You may not control what's taken from you, but you always control what you carry forward. Make it meaning. Make it love. Make it strength that someone else can lean on. Part 3. Stillness is the answer. After loss, the world becomes loud. Advice comes from every direction. Move on. Stay strong. Don't think too much. But the Stoic doesn't rush to noise. He returns to stillness. Stillness isn't absence. It's attention. It's sitting with your grief without judging it. It's allowing the tears, not hiding them, It's walking through the dark night, not sprinting toward distraction. Marcus Aurelius journaled through his pain. His meditations weren't for the world. They were his anchor, his way of creating order in emotional chaos. Stillness is where you hear the truth, that grief is not your enemy. It's your evidence that something mattered deeply. In stillness, you don't have to perform healing. You allow it to unfold. You don't numb yourself with tasks or timelines. You sit long enough for the noise to fade, and what's left is your soul, quietly learning how to breathe again. Don't be ashamed of the slow path. Don't fear the silence. Within it, your mind resets. Your heart reorients. Stillness is the soil where wisdom grows. Return to it, again and again. Part 4. Live for the living, honor the lost. Grief can isolate. You feel misunderstood. People move on faster than you can. You wonder if the world even noticed what you lost. But Stoicism teaches us, honor is not in holding on. It's in living forward. When someone you love is gone, you don't betray them by smiling again. You honor them by choosing to rise. You become the living proof that their life mattered, because it shaped how you live yours. Did they teach you kindness? Then offer it to someone hurting. Did they give you laughter? Then don't be afraid to laugh again. Your joy doesn't erase your grief, it completes it. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. React with purpose. React with love. Carry their legacy not as a burden, but as a torch. If their voice still echoes in your mind, let it guide your better choices. You can live with loss and with meaning. That's not forgetting. That's remembering deeply." Part 5. Transform your grief into a gift. Eventually, grief softens. It doesn't vanish, but it changes shape. What once burned becomes a quiet ember. It no longer roars, but it never fully leaves. The pain that once brought you to your knees becomes a companion, silent, but wise. At some point, you stop asking, "Why me?" and begin asking, "What now?" This is the turning point. And it's where the Stoic shines. He doesn't just survive the storm, he builds a lighthouse from it. He doesn't erase the pain. He uses it to illuminate the path for others. You've walked through darkness that most avoid. And because of that, you carry a rare strength. A strength not loud, not boastful, but steady. Maybe you write. Maybe you guide. Maybe you simply sit with someone in silence. No advice, just presence. Grief becomes a gift, not because it was fair, but because you refused to let it be wasted. That's Stoicism at its highest form. Pain transformed into purpose, loss woven into legacy. The world doesn't need more perfection. It needs people who've been broken and rebuilt themselves with honesty. Now you know what matters. Now you love with fewer assumptions. Now you walk into rooms, not to impress, but to truly connect. Let your grief shape you, but not into a weapon, into a torch. Because someone behind you is still in the dark, and your light could guide them home. Loss doesn't end us. It invites us to begin again, differently. Not softer, not harder, but truer. You are not what you lost. You are what you choose to carry forward. The Stoics never said grief was easy, but they showed us even pain can become purpose if we stay awake. If this episode touched something in you, pause for a moment. Take a breath. Ask yourself, what will I do with this scar? Don't bury it. Don't wear it like armor. Carry it with grace. Let it soften your eyes. Let it sharpen your presence. Let it remind you that every goodbye holds the seed of something sacred if we dare to live it fully. You don't need to rush your healing. You just need to honor it with every step. If this message helped you breathe easier, subscribe for weekly Stoic reflections. No fluff, just focus. And if someone you know is grieving, share this. You never know how your light might guide them through their night. This is how we walk through loss, together.